dance, and I have to get right up when I play in the band, so I hate that. Gonna take a freight train down at the station, Lord. I don't care where it goes. I'm gonna climb a mountain, the highest mountain, Lord. Only jump off, ain't nobody gonna know. Can't you see? Oh, Lord, can't you see what that woman been doing to me?
Testing 1 2. Wonder if I can get this out. Just testing 1 2.
Test 1 2 1 2 3. Test 1 2. Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2. Test 1 2 3. 1 2 1 2 3. I'm just trying to do the different heights of speakers. You good, or should I keep going? Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2. 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. Okay. So I'm going to turn it off.
could keep the music going. It was lovely. That might be a problem. I do talk with my hands. Sorry. I might have to put that back, but welcome. Welcome to each and every one of you. I'm meeting new friends today. I see old friends today. This is a place for friends today because Pam was our friend. I want to welcome you today on behalf of Pam's entire family. I'm not even going to attempt all the names, although I'm learning them, but there are all kinds of relatives in this room, and on behalf of all of them, we're very grateful that you're here. I'm David Polk, and I'm a friend of Pam, and I'm truly honored to be here with you. Today we're celebrating Pam. We're celebrating Pam today. Her life and her legacy. This is Pam's day. It's not Pam's party because she's, I think, already had some party already. She's already celebrating. She's been celebrating for a while. I can only imagine that. But Pam's not much of a spotlight lady. If you know Pam, you know that Pam loved to work in the background. In fact, in the past, at celebrations just like this, you knew that Pam was here last night, and she made sure the tables were all set up just right. She's here today serving coffee and sandwiches and more sandwiches. Never let you get away with not having enough or more than enough. And of course, she makes sure that you never run out of peanut M&Ms, ever. So that was Pam. That was one of my visions of Pam. Okay. No one ever left Pam feeling unloved or hungry. They never left a party or a meeting or a time or anything unloved or hungry. So I have a little story, just a it's pretty quick. And then I want to share a few things that maybe some of you might have said about Pam. But first, if you would just envision with me for just a moment, Heaven's Gates. I don't know where the pearl industry took and got the market there, the pearly gates, but I'm sure they were big and gold and spiffy and whatever. But if you can imagine those gates, and there are 4 people in the distance that you can see approaching the gates. And as you zoom in, you can tell that one is a lawyer, one is an electrician, one's a rabbi, and one's a hairdresser. And St. Peter's sitting there, and he's inviting them in through the gate. And on the other side of that gate, Jesus is there. The King is there to greet them. And he greets the sundry different people that just walked in, but he kind of focused on the hairdresser. And he said, "You know what? You must be Pam. I've been waiting for you. Now that I have your attention, okay, I'm going to go to finish the story in Matthew chapter 25, because I really felt last night or the night before, God gave me a word, and I didn't really know where it was in the Bible, and I went looking, and I found it. And it's in Matthew 25. as Pam came in and she met Jesus, Jesus says to Pam, Pam, you have a very special place in my Father's heart. Come and experience the full inheritance of the kingdom realm that has been built and destined for you from before the foundation of the world. Pam, when you saw me hungry, you fed me. When you saw me thirsty, you gave me something to drink. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing a little bit here. When I had no place to stay, you invited me in and gave me a room. When I was poorly clothed, you covered me. When I was sick, you tenderly cared for me. And when I was in prison, you visited me. Then Pam answered him and said, Lord, when did I see you hungry or thirsty or with no place to stay or poorly clothed and sick or whatever? I don't recall those things. And the king answered and said, Pam, don't you know? Whenever you cared for one of the least of these, the least or the greatest, the richest or the poorest, the prettiest or the less pretty, whenever you did any of these things for them, you did that for me. Pam listened to those nudges from her Savior day in and day out. And his love, Christ's love, shined through her brightly. And guess who it touched? Every one of us. Those moments that you remember fondly. Some maybe less fondly, but those moments we remember and they make us smile. That was the Lord shining through Pam because she listened and she did those things. She touched all of us and everyone she met, and she cared very deeply. That was Pam. She loved, she cared a lot. I knew that was something that was my revelation and my thing of Pam. That's how I felt. But I kind of wanted to make sure that I wasn't on the wrong track. So we asked a bunch of our friends, coworkers, clients, just to share a word or two. There were a couple of 47-word things, but you won't hear those all today. But I just wanted to read a couple of those because I think you'll see a theme. A great lady, so kind, always had a smile on her face. An irreplaceable spirit, funny, a kisser, very loving, kind. Boy, could she burp. Loved her family, very special person, always smiling. Her tenacity, strong woman with endurance. The most giving, genuine person, loved big. Always had a smile and a kind or encouraging word. Inspiring. Touched so many lives, brightened a bright light. Her laughter, her contagious smile, her food always make sure we would eat and eat and eat. Her potlucks were the best. The best hugs, always checking in on how you were doing. Feisty. Okay. Always checking in on us. Generous, so generous. Many times brought us dinner to take home. Always kept a pile of food at the salon and always trying to feed people. Never forgot a birthday. Wore her heart on her sleeve. Loved so big. Fun-loving, non-judgmental, great listener, understanding, family-oriented, true to her faith, good friend. Her hospitality and made everyone welcome with her cooking. always concerned with others' feelings, incredibly hospitable, always welcoming people in her home, always wanting to feed everyone food, genuine, always wanted to know how you were doing. Wasn't about her. Most non-judgmental, unconditional, loving person. Didn't have a bad thing to say about anybody. Big heart, great smile. Took good care of her clients. Enjoyed being with friends. A confidant. Loved all kids. Always laughed. The real deal. Didn't mince words or fake anything. Cared deeply for people. Had grit. Devoted to her family, made you feel she was so happy to see you every time you were together. Smiles, hugs, cared, laughed, true, genuine, food, lover, food. That was Pam. That was our Pam. And I know that's probably just skimming the surface, but I just wanted to share those things, and it made me feel really good that I wasn't the only one that thought those things. So, and there's a couple on there that I didn't have on my list, but it didn't include feisty. I had feisty on my list. Yes, that was Pam. She loved and she cared deeply for others. Thank you.
Is that better? Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Pam's Celebration of Life. Before we get started, David reminded me of something, and I have to tell a funny story. This wasn't part of the script, but we were in Mexico one time. There was a group of us. Sat down at the restaurant, and we're all ordering drinks, and a group of bikers showed up behind us, filled the whole table up with bikers. And then Pam, during dinner, let off one of her burps. There was a quick second of silence afterwards, and then the bikers stood up and applauded, and the cook rang the dinner bell. That's my wife. My wife would be disappointed if I didn't come up here and speak. This is tough. I just wanted to thank everyone here for the hugs, the food, the flowers, all of the support, the delicious meals, food, the drinks, and the Kleenex. The Kleenex helped a lot. I get up every morning, grab some coffee, and sit and read cards and text. Fill my face and fill my face with tears. It's the most wonderful thing to get get those cards. Thank you. Pam and I were married 42 years ago. From day one, she changed me from the selfish young man to an adult. She taught me to be kind, to care, to love. She taught me about my family and to give and not to receive. Her teaching was not by words, but by humility. I'm not saying I mastered that, but she never gave up on me. Pam's biggest gift was just that, giving. She would never go to someone's house or a gathering without bringing something. Babies and children, no matter where she was, would never be sad or go hungry. There was always a list of birthdays behind our kitchen cabinet door. Thank goodness for cell phones when they came along. She was a mother and also a mother to all of us. Von Polk reminded me of a saying that they have, WWPD, what would Pam do? I have the words God giveth and God taketh away in my mind since Pam's passing. I talked it over with my daughter this morning, try and figure out what the meanings were, because it comes from the book of Job, and I couldn't place it in my life. But I know Pam was given to me by God. And when she was taken, she wasn't taken. She was given another gift from God. She was given mercy, and she's in heaven with Jesus. It's all we can keep in our hearts forever. Pam's profession was being a beautician, and that work she absolutely loved. She had built a separate family through her work. I am sure there are people wanting to tell their story about Pam. So we're going to have our granddaughter, Aubrey, after the ceremony, coming around and recording any stories you want. This is Aubrey.
Hi.
Any stories you want to share. She'll do a video and a recording that we can all look at later. The whole family will get together and go through them. Please give us whatever memories you have. We'd love to hear them. This is Aubrey, and she is going to do her speech. Thank you all. Love you all.
Hi guys, I'm Aubrey. I am the oldest of Pam's grandchildren, and I'm just so grateful for everyone to be here today. My grandma was a very loving person. I remember the last time I came down here, it was August, I think. That was the last time I saw her, but there was one time where we were both laying on her bed together just talking, and she was just telling me all about her family and her early childhood and just her sisters and mom, and she just spoke with them all about with such love, especially her mom. She loved her mom so much, and every time I was with her, she was always talking about how much she loved her family and loved everyone around her. And I think she was just the type of person who just loved fearlessly and loved with all her heart. She never held anything back. She never stopped. She just loved people, and she gave so much. She was so hospitable and loving and humble, and her biggest goal in life was just to make everyone around her happy first. Even when she was sick or weak, she was still like, can I get you a drink? Can I do this? I don't want to sit down. I don't want to stop moving. I just want to keep helping and loving you and supporting you, even when I'm not doing well. She's just always so hospitable and loving to everyone. And so I think that's just something really special. And she just always tried her hardest to make everyone around her so happy. And then, did you guys have anything you wanted to say? Okay, so Pam, I'm Kason. Yeah, grandson. Wait. I'm somewhere in the yeah. No, I'm tied with Aiden though. Okay, never mind. So Pam, anytime we wanted to play cards or any game, she would always play King's Corners. And before this service, you, me, Aiden, and Addie, all played King's Corners in honor of her, and that's just something I wanted to remember about her. Go ahead.
Whenever you want, okay? I gotta put it up higher. I didn't know you guys were all gonna be standing around up here the whole time, huh? So how do you say goodbye to someone who made such a difference in our lives? I think that's the question that each one of us is trying to answer today, and I want you to know that there's not a one-size-fits-all answer to that. But my name's Chris. I'm Pam's tallest son. That goofy SoCal kid who fell in love with her daughter 22 years ago, and whom from the moment I walked in her door, she welcomed me with warm hugs, big laughs, and that creepy fish-like kiss that she did, that I was really glad to be able to be tall enough to get away from. Not sure about you, but this week's kind of felt really surreal. Been at the house for a couple days now, and I just keep waiting for her to come down the stairs, or walk into the kitchen expecting her to be doing her little whirlwind thing in there, and yet she's not, and there's kind of this void, but it's a void that I think is a good thing, as it shows us how much she meant to us. The blessing for me this week has been to see how much she's still here, and the joyful giggles of the grandkids playing and jumping around, and the banter between her siblings, back and forth, the hospitality and efficiency of her kids, and the love of her husband. I know a lot of you have been around the last couple weeks and months of family up here. We just want to say thank you so much for just pouring out your love on Pam and Gary, especially as you know, standing in the gap for us who are further away. It's been such a blessing. They're just surrounded by such good people, and just thank you to each of you, and praying that you guys can continue to help babysit Gary for us. That'd be great. All right, so Pam Jam, or I called her Pam Jam. Kids called her Grandma. What a giver. You're already hearing that today. She was always doing something for other people, like a caffeinated hummingbird, going around, always cleaning, cooking, prepping, cutting hair, shopping for going there. She really never did sit down. And when you told her to sit down, even if you were a doctor, she'd just tell you to shut up and keep going. Her true love language, however, you're hearing this, was food. She always had some sort of appetizer and treats out for you as she was prepping the next 2 meals. It was almost as if she was making a meal to prep for the meal, none of which she seemed to eat for herself. She never actually ate herself, so she just kind of expected you to eat everything. And as a grandma, those kids were so spoiled and sugared up. She was always right down with the grandkids, down on the ground on the trampoline, letting them put makeup on her, baking in the kitchen, always invested in whatever they're doing, and the kind of grandma that the kids would want. You already heard, we got to play a lot of cards with her, and she had a knack for claiming that she never knew how to play a game, and then somehow in that proceed to have the best hand possible, playing innocent the whole time, which she was either really lucky or really good at acting, probably both. Jokes aside, she had a great heart for everyone. She wore it on her sleeve. All of you here can attest how she checked in and checked up on you, and social media was made for her because she could really keep track of all of you, not in like a way to gossip about you, but really to celebrate your victories and to mourn with you in your hardships. It didn't matter if you were a client at her shop, a distant cousin, or a bagger at the grocery store.
you mattered, as many of you can attest. It was what made her really good at the salon as well. Especially true with her family. Few families could be more spread out. We were spread out across the entire country, and yet she always knew exactly where everyone was and what everyone was doing. The song "We Are Family" definitely applies here. She loved her brothers and sisters, and definitely put me in there too. All right, who has a sunflower pack? Pack of sunflower seeds, you got those? If not, grab one on your way out. We really felt that, it was kind of her mascot. If you look around the house right now, it's all sunflowers. And I hope that as you see sunflowers from here on out, you can think of Pam. For starters, reminded her of her homeland, South Dakota roots, those fields throughout Gregory County. Bright and bold, colorful. You should have seen the girls wearing her clothes the other night, coming down the stairs in a different outfit, each one brighter and sparklier than the last, and questioned where and why she had all of them. She spread love everywhere she went, like the seeds on there. And the irony of this is Pam had this stubborn thing in Montana. She always wanted to grow flowers, and the frost and the deer were against her. Now she's planted a bunch of flowers, but they're all plastic. They go from there. And she also loved snacks. That's great too. But finally, the sunflower, if you haven't seen a field, they follow the sun. And she also followed the true sun, Jesus Christ. Which is the best part of this is that we have no doubt where she is right now. That makes us not a goodbye, but a see you again soon. And I think you're seeing right up here the legacy of her faith and her prayers and her family, and all the branches, whether or not your family or one of her clients or something there. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see. And while we're mourning for our temporary loss here, we can also grieve in confident hope and assurance that we're going to be with her again soon. She is part of God's larger divine story, and one that we're going to continue to walk here because of her faith in Christ. My real concern right now is not where she is, but how long she has to prepare for us, because that is a lot of cookies and banana bread and strata and spaghetti. So I'm really hoping calories don't count in heaven. In closing, Pam Jam, we love you. We miss you in so many little moments each day. We're grateful for the way that you made our life better and everyone around you. And we're blessed to discover more and more of those little ways that you touch each one of our lives. And just remembering your joy, your smile, your laughter, the amazing friend, colleague, sister, grandma, wife, and mother you are. Ika Liebedik, your taller son.
I'm Lacey. I'm Pam's daughter. My mom was constantly affirming others, telling us how amazing we were, how much she loved us, how proud she was of us, me, the grandkids, her husband, everyone. So I wrote her a letter just affirming some ways that she's passed on her legacy. Dear Mom, I miss you already. Somebody told me that if you drank water when you were crying, you couldn't do both at the same time.
Fuel the tears, right?
But I can't stop thinking about your legacy and all the extraordinary things you taught your children and grandchildren. Your character, passions, and love are still all around us and in us. I look back and realize how many ways I'm like you, and I'm now seeing it in my own kids. You would be so proud of Aubrey. The other day, she made a skirt out of her old jeans, and it turned out amazing. She didn't even use a pattern. She just came up with the idea on her own and mastered it. She had to have gotten some of her sewing skills from you. I remember you telling me how you made many of your own clothes when you were younger. Aubrey also loves thrifting like you. She will find the most unique items and turn them into a fashion statement. She doesn't care how trendy it is or what brand clothes they are. She rocks whatever outfit she has with confidence. Definitely a trait you passed on to her. I always loved your excitement for finding treasures at thrift stores and garage sales. She even put on your wedding dress the other night and loved it so much she wants to turn it into a prom dress. We'll see how that goes. Aubrey also shares your love of doing hair. She'll spend hours learning hairstyles and then pull them off beautifully. And Kason, he's becoming such a loving young man with the biggest heart. He loves being in the kitchen or watching cooking videos. He creates recipes, then somewhat coerces people into trying them. Sound familiar? You and your food. We all teased you about always feeding others and never eating yourself. There was never a time you didn't have fresh baked goods or homemade salsa ready for us. It was just your passion for taking care of others. That is a huge quality of yours that you passed down to us. I see it in myself and my children in the way they also love to help their teachers, friends, the homeless. You always taught Landon and I the importance of humbling ourselves to serve others. Whether it was the mom struggling with the baby sitting next to us at a restaurant, the elderly gentleman trying to get into his car in the parking lot, or taking food to someone's house, again with the food. I could go on forever with the ways you cared for your family, your friends, and your clients. 1 Peter 4:10 says, each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. And you did this in such a beautiful way through your life. I want you to know that we all saw it, experienced it, and are so grateful for everything you did for us. I also want to thank you for your dedication and diligence, which you constantly modeled for Landon and I. I think I can speak for both of us when I say that your energy, vitality, vigorous work ethic, and enthusiasm for exercise were both appreciated and dreaded as we grew up in our house. And now as adults, we are extremely grateful for the way you raised us and how determined you were to instill in us the motivation to work hard, be healthy, and take care of others. You are the greatest example of Proverbs 31:25 through 30. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring praise at the city gate. Here we are, Mom, bringing you praise and honor for the extraordinary woman you are. So thank you. I will love you for always. I will like you forever. As long as I'm living, my mommy you'll be.
All right. I know what everybody's thinking. Landon and I are not twins. Okay? I'm his uncle. My name is Rick. I'm the youngest of the 8 Dobishes. Cheryl, Kathy, Pam, Sandy, Deanne, Rod, Deb, and Rick. They saved the best for last. Pammy Joe. First off, I'm an accountant by trade and starting my 7th year as a teacher. And so I should be teaching right now. Class periods are 43 minutes long, so you guys might as well sit back and relax. No, I mean, being the last of 8 kids, Mom had 8 kids in 12 years. You'd probably think, wow, how can Rick be close to all of his brothers and sisters? And yes, initially I was the baby and I sure used it and continued to use it. But I'm also very analytical being a CPA. And early in life, I looked at Pam and I said, class of 73, I'm class of 83. I like that. Her middle name's Joe. My middle name's Joe. So I had a bond with her in addition to all of them, but I always find some type of bond to have with all my siblings. But I want to talk about kind of incorporate this with a saying that's in Pam and Gary's house that says, don't count your blessings, share them. First off, my wife is like, don't you have anything written down? And I said, honey, this is my 4th eulogy. I'm getting pretty damn good at it. So I sat here chasing the all-American dream, being the last of 8 kids and wanting to get out of little Burke, South Dakota. And with that in mind, didn't make it to Pam and Gary's wedding. Didn't make it to Landon's. Didn't make it to Lacey's. Always had an excuse. I'm working, raising kids, busy, chasing the almighty dream. It's too far. That was always the good one. It's so far to Montana. Well, then our dad dies. And I noticed something, and here again, I'm very analytical. We're all there, all the kids, and I hear the words, "I love you," start coming out of people's mouths. And I hadn't heard that, and if I had, it certainly seemed a lot less vocal than it was. Just a brother and a sister, or 2 sisters, saying, "I love you." We didn't grow up much. Mom and Dad didn't really look at us and say, "I love you." But I noticed something, and that was a lot of years ago. And maybe a little hammer hit me on the head, but it wasn't a hard enough hammer to get me to realize just how short life is and how we should count our blessings and share them, exactly like Pam always said. So with that in mind, eventually I lost 2 close friends, woke up one day and realized my mom was a teacher and I had 6 sisters, none of which got into education. And I did have some people tell me, "You should be a teacher." I also knew I was 50 years old. But I did wake up one day and I went back to college, and it wasn't online. I was sitting right in the classroom with primarily 20, 21-year-old girls thinking, "Are you our professor?" I said, "Nope, scoot your butt over. I'm here too." And then finally, it's starting to click a little bit about this whole thing about life and blessings and the fact that we need to share them. So got into education, first 2 years, coached baseball in the summer, and woke up one day and looked at my wife. How much time I got left? 38 minutes? Okay. I looked at my wife and I said, "You know, I've never been to Helena." And it was on my shoulders, don't get me wrong. But there was always some excuse, and it was usually, "It's too far." But here I was, and I felt this connection with Pam, like I do with all my siblings, but I had never been. I'd been to when they were living in California. You know, I'd been to Pennsylvania where her sister, I'd been to New Orleans, been to Sacramento, never been to Helena. But the thing was, it was too far, okay? Just too far. 2-day drive from Des Moines, Iowa, where I live, to Helena, Montana. And I sat there with my wife and I said, "I am getting lost every June. I need the break from education, and the first place I'm going is Helena, Montana." And I called Pam, and I think there was some shock. She's like, "No, you're not." She was always good at that. "No, you're not. No, you're not." But I did. And the minute I walked into the door, I felt at home. And I was like, I absolutely love it here. And so I've been coming back 5 years in a row now. It is my June stop. It will always be my June stop. So I don't care who is still here. Even if all the family leaves, somebody in here is taking me in June, okay? You know, that's my 2 cents. You know, and here again, looking at that saying over in Pam and Gary's living room just told me everything I needed to know, because Pam had a lot of blessings and she shared them all. And I was blessed to be part of it. And I'm always going to be blessed to be part of it. I mean, what she did for me and what Gary and the family has done for me is just phenomenal. Made me who I am today. So thanks to all of you, and let's continue to celebrate. I know she right now is still mad that the violets were late, so.
He just did that to make me look bad. And I got Pam's guitar, and it's not an expensive one, so bear with me.
This is Rod, the older brother.
I'm Rod. Pam was my musical buddy. almost heaven. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, the Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country road. All my memories gather around her, a miner's lady, stranger to the water, dark and dusty, painted on the trail, misty shades of moonlight, there's teardrops on my face. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country road. I see her face in the morning as she calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. As I get down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country road, oh, take me home down country road. Goodbye, Pam.
Hi, I'm Frank Carpenter. I'm Lacey's father-in-law. And don't worry, Rod, I will not be, I didn't attempt the leap of faith either, so. You've heard, I'm gonna read a poem. It's not the poem that's in your program, so don't try and follow along. You've heard a lot of different people talk about Pam, and my summation of that is Pam had a beautiful life, and that's the title of this poem. In September 1955, Ralph and Violet were filled with glee when little Pam Dobish was born to them in Wagner, SD. Pam grew up in Burke, South Dakota as a typical small-town girl. She was the third of 8 children who dreamed of a bigger world, which brought her in time to the south shore of Lake Tahoe once she was grown, no longer the doe-eyed small-town girl, but independent and out on her own. Pam was working at Harvey's Casino, running keno and dressed to the T when Gary Jackson crossed her path. Fate, kismet, serendipity. Gary was struck by her beauty, the cute dress, the lighting, the hair. He thought she looked like Barbara Eden. Before they knew it, they were a pair. That was the logical next step in her life's chronology, and while they worked at the casino, Pam studied cosmetology. Once she completed her studies, the next step began to take shape as they opened her tiki-themed first salon and called it the Tropical Escape. After Lacey and Landon were born, they moved south near Sacramento, living in Citrus Heights for a while, finally landing in Rio Oso. Years of work and kids and school followed in likely succession, Pam juggling home and styling hair as that was her chosen profession. Down the road a ways, work intervened and they moved their family back east to Montana so Gary could pursue a new opportunity. They settled at last in Clancy, found a church and made some new friends. That's the big outline of Pam's life, but it's not where the story ends, because our lives are more than an outline, more than a dash between two dates, filled with ups and downs and joys and sorrows, with seasons to grieve and celebrate. Pam was devoted to her family and always loved having them near. She and Gary married in 1983 and were together 42 years. She was blessed with amazing children. Her eldest daughter, Lacey May, who is married to Chris Carpenter, my son. She and Lacey talked every few days. Pam's son Landon is married to Nikki, and they live just across town, so she got to see them regularly, so loved having them around. Plus Pam's 4 grandchildren whom she adored and blessed, Aubrey, Kaysen, Aiden, and Adeline, always a source of such happiness. Pam appreciated her siblings, Cheryl, Kathy, Rod, Deanne, Deb, Rick, and dear Sandy. She sure loved their crazy clan and so enjoyed their Zoom calls on Sunday mornings in recent years that, like the Dobush-Sevier reunions, kept them close and feeling near. Pam loved any place warm and tropical, loved to lay on the beach and read. Pina colada, Mai Tai, calamari, swim and snorkel, her paradise indeed. Pam was a lifelong stylist, though not one driven by money or time. She loved making the world more beautiful, one person at a time. She was a fitness nut, and step aerobics was about so much more than health. She taught classes to be with people, because people were always Pam's wealth. Both her vocations were more than jobs. They were relational, face-to-face. By touching lives and serving people, she made the world a better place. She loved to cook for others as well, and was creative in so many ways, but always as an expression of love. She was driven by people, not praise. Her Christian life was contagious, and from the earliest days of her youth, sharing faith with friends, family, grandchildren as a beacon of faith and truth. Pam's love and compassion were vocal. You are my sunshine, happy birthday, words of encouragement, ich liebe dich, always something to sing or say. Pam hugged often and long, even too long, with a warm heart and smiling face, kissing most everyone on the lips with no regard for personal space. If you ask about Pam, you'll likely hear generous, beautiful, strong, compassionate, caring, funny, faith, cookies, silly songs. You'd hear about cards and presents, gardening, flowers, baking, and more, each trait related to loving people, for people were at her heart and core. Now, sometimes Pam was an oak tree with a lifelong faith unshakable, at other times a delicate flower with a soft, tender-hearted soul, one who wore the roles gracefully of mother, sister, friend, and wife, loving, serving, encouraging, shining, inviting us into her beautiful life. And that's why we've gathered to celebrate as Pam walks through the eternal doors, and there will be better hair in heaven than they've ever had before. Thanks.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living.
till my love took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in snow-covered hills till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life?
And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, baby.
Just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you.
Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt?
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, when I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I woke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I?
How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I needed the shelter of someone's arms. There you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. There you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I want to stop and thank you, baby. Yes, I do. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Feels so fine. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. Now the others heard Madame had rung the chapel bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell. They furnished off an apartment with a two-room robot sale. The cooler air was crammed with TV dinners and ginger ale. Then Pierre found work, a little money come and work out well.
You and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus, or in awe of you be still?
That was a treat, wasn't it? I don't think I've ever seen a 13-minute video go by that quick. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing those things. Those videos always get me. Yeah, I saw that handsome guy in some of those photos, didn't you? So, we have some kind of stuff out here for you to snack on and drink, and there's plenty of M&Ms and candy corn out there for everybody. Probably will end up taking some home, who knows. I always did when I left your house. I have to confess that. I always had M&Ms in my pocket when I left your house. Peanut M&Ms, always. Because I didn't have it in my house. So there's, you know, the family really would like it if you could spend some time there. I know things are going and happening and whatnot, and the world is waiting for all of us out there, but right now it's kind of stopped. And it's Pam, we're on Pam time. And so spend some time out there and visit and listen and share. Aubrey is, see, you can see her when she's sitting down because she's tall. Aubrey is going to be our video techie person, and she's going to want to hear your stories if you want to share them, because it's for the family and to be able to see at any time. So, but stick around for a while, share in the stuff, and share your stories of Pam, and laugh a little bit, tear up a little, drink water, I guess. Share your stories, because she was a very special lady. So, with that, we're going to thank God for our time here today. So, Heavenly Father, Lord, we are so grateful for this day to be able to be here and spend this time, but we are so grateful for the gift that you gave us in Pam. We're reminded that it's not about us. It's about anybody but us. And I think those are the things that you put inside of Pam that we could each walk away with today. And I know we would walk away better people. So I ask you today to speak to each and every one of us today about our own little worlds that we live in, because we all have our own little things. But remind us of those things that we know that you shone a light through Pam into our hearts. And because we were closer to her, we were closer to you. So we thank you for this awesome time that we've shared, and we ask you to seal in our hearts all these things that we've heard and shared and watched, and with a little bit more to come as well. So thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Thanks for coming. And there's all kinds of stuff out there, so enjoy yourselves. Thank you.